Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching. Today we're going to be going over contouring and highlighting. And the reason why I wanted to go over this topic was because I find lots of people think that contouring and highlighting is one size fits all, but actually it's all depending on your face shape. So lots of the times on the internet you will see a face chart and it will tell you how to contour and highlight, and there will only be one chart showing you that. But actually there's all different face shapes. So we have an oval face shape, a round face shape, a diamond face shape, a square face shape, a heart face shape. So depending on your face shape, that's how you're going to be contouring and highlighting. So we're going to be going over that. I'm not going to be going over each face shape and how to contour and highlight. I'm just going to kind of give you some guidelines to go by. Another thing I want to talk about is using bronzer as your contour. So that's a big no-no. So a bronzer is bringing warmth to the skin. So a bronzer is going to have an orange or a more terracotta undertone. So this is MAC's Give Me Sun, and as you can see, it has a more of an orange tinge to it. So that's going to bring warmth to your skin. That's not meant to contour. Contour, you're going to want to bring shadow. So with shadow, you need a more of a gray undertone. So a contour shade still is a brown shade, but it just has a gray undertone, so it ends up looking more taupey. This is Kevyn Aucoin Sculpting Powder, and it's in shade medium. So as you can see, it's more taupe, and it has a gray undertone. How I explain contouring and highlighting to my clients is anything you're wanting to bring back or bring dimension or wanting to recede, you're going to want to contour. So that's bringing in the darker color, which is the contour shade. What it means to highlight something is to bring forward, is bringing attention to it, so you're bringing light to that area. Another thing I want to go over is cream contouring and powder contouring. Day to day, I usually only do powder because it's a lot faster for me and I can just get it done really quickly and be out the door. Cream contouring I love because it's more of a natural finish and you can blend it out really easily. Today I'm going to be doing both just for the sake of this tutorial so I can show you both. So I have a oval face shape. So with an oval face shape you can kind of contour and highlight however you want. Say you had someone with a big forehead and someone with a small forehead. Someone with a big forehead, for instance, you're going to want to make it smaller. So you're not going to want to highlight, you're going to want to contour and bring shadow around the edge of the face. Then someone with a small forehead, you're actually going to want to highlight because you're going to want to balance out your face shape. So you're going to want to bring highlight to the center of your forehead and not contour because you're not going to want to make your forehead any smaller. Now another thing I want to talk about also is when you see these diagrams on Instagram or on Facebook, they make these maps on their faces. So they draw your highlighted areas as well as their contour areas, and then they blend it out after. The reason why I don't do that is because you won't be able to blend it out as easy because it's going to start to dry on your face and set. So what I like to do is I work in sections. So I'll put the product under my eye, blend it out. Put the highlight under the other eye, blend it out. If you're ever having troubles blending out your cream products, what I do is I take a beauty oil. So this is the Fresh Sea Berry Moisturizing Face Oil. It's just a little sample. And I drop a few drops on my beauty blender, my damp beauty blender, and I blend it out that way if I'm ever having any problems with it. So I'm going to be taking my RCMA foundation and concealer palette, and I'm going to be starting off with highlighting. So I'm going to take a few shades lighter than my skin tone and put that under my eye. So I'm going to be drawing under my eye and staying right up against my nose. The reason why I'm doing that is because it's going to make my nose look more narrow. Now if you already have a very narrow nose, skip this step. Don't put it right up against your nose because it's going to make it more narrow. So then I'm going to be putting more along here. I love beauty blenders to blend out all my concealer and cream foundation or cream products. And bouncing it on my skin. You never want to wipe, you always want to bounce. Okay, perfect. So there's one eye, and now doing the other. Hugging right up against my nose to make my nose more slender. And drawing a little bit more and blending that out. Now what this is going to do is it's going to bring brightness to your under eye and make you look more awake. So all face shapes can highlight under your eye. It's just bringing more light to your face. Now moving on to the forehead. So with the forehead, again, if you have a big forehead, don't highlight your forehead. If you have a small forehead, you're going to want to highlight. Now I have just a medium-sized forehead. It's nothing too crazy. So I'm going to be highlighting a little bit on my forehead. Just right in the center. Taking my Beauty Blender again and dabbing the product out. Now with the nose. So I'm going to be highlighting the center of the nose, but I only highlight a little bit. I don't go too crazy on my nose because I find it ends up looking fake. And I bring it up in between my forehead. Now, if you have a lot of space in between your eyebrows, don't highlight. It's just going to bring more attention to the space in between your eyebrows. So taking my Beauty Blender. So now moving on to your chin area. So if you have a very large chin, don't highlight again. I'm just going to put a little bit on my chin there and blend it out. So you don't want to accentuate something that you're trying to hide. So that's the big thing I find is when you're highlighting and contouring and it's the same for everyone, well, everyone has different features and you're trying to accentuate different things. Now we're going to move on to contouring. So I'm going to take a cool contour shade. So it's that shade right there. It's a little bit cooler. Anybody can contour your cheekbones with any face shape because you're wanting to bring dimension. So you're going to start at the top of your ear and work as if you're going to the corner of your mouth, but you're not actually going to go in that far. You never want to go past the outside of the corner of your eye because it will start to look like a sideburn. So you take your product and you always want it the darkest here and it to blend out into nothing going inwards. And less is always more. So now I'm taking my Beauty Blender, and with contouring your cheekbones, never blend down, always blend up. Blending up is going to lift your face shape, blending down is going to bring it down. So I push it in and roll it up. Push it in and roll it up until the line disappears. So if you want to add more product, just go right ahead. It's always better to start with less. And now moving on to the other side. Starting at the top of my ear. Working downwards. Beauty Blender for cream contouring and highlighting is because it grabs any extra product that you don't need on your face, so you get a more natural finish. Okay, so now moving on to the forehead. Again, if you have a small forehead, don't contour your forehead. I'm just going to contour a little bit. Nothing too crazy. And blending it in. Make sure you blend it into your hairline so it looks seamless. A little trick to make your lips appear larger is to contour underneath your lips. So what that's going to do is make the appearance of your lower lip being larger, so it's creating a shadow under your lip. So just draw a little bit of your contour, cream contour shade underneath and blend away. Next, we're going to do our jawline. So if you have a small jawline, you're not going to want to contour it. So you're just going to start underneath to make some dimension. And for another trick, if you want to get rid of a double chin, you can contour underneath your jawline, like on your chin, and it will give the illusion that you don't have a double chin. Alright, so now that that's all blended, we're going to take a highlighting shade. I'm going to take my Kat Von D palette and the Lyric shade, so it's the banana shade in the middle, right there. And anywhere that I highlighted, I'm going to press this into my skin. So under my eyes and pressing. You never want to drag because you're going to move your product. Middle of my forehead, down the center of my nose, under my other eye, center of my chin. Now for setting the contour shades, I never set my cream contour with my contour shade because your brush will skip across your contour shade and it will become patchy. So I set it with a translucent powder. So today I'm using the Cinema Secrets setting powder. It's translucent. So I'm up with my beauty blender and start dabbing it into my skin. Now I know it's weird to use a damp sponge to apply powder, but it really is a great technique to not look super powdery and cakey. Okay, so now moving on to contouring with powder. So I'm going to be using the Kevyn Aucoin powder that I was talking about, but the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette is awesome. I use the middle shade as you can tell, and that one is Shadow Play. So with contouring, you just want to start with a little bit of product. So I'm taking a little bit on my brush and dusting it off. And starting with a contour, I'm going back and forth, and then blending upwards. You want to blend upwards so you're not making your face look longer. So you can take more product, dab it off. So again, you want to start darkest out here and you want it to fade away, going inwards. Now moving on to your forehead. You don't want any harsh lines, so make sure it's really nicely blended. So now contouring the jawline. Then for under my lip, I'm just going to take a fluffy brush and contour underneath my lips. For contouring the nose, you want it to look as natural as possible. So I'm going to take that same small fluffy brush, take the contour shade, and you could even go for shades lighter than that, tap it off, and then I even dab it off on my hand as well. And you're going to be making two lines. So one here and one here to make your nose look slender. So, going to contour this side and contour the other side. Now another trick is if you have a long nose, you can contour the tip of your nose. So as you can see, I like a very natural nose contour. I'm not really into the very doll-like looking nose. I like it to look more natural. And that's just my personal preference. Then I go in after I've contoured my nose, back in with that light shade, and I highlight down the bridge of my nose. So now I'm going to highlight with my shimmery product. So I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills That Glow Kit. And I'm going to be using Bubbly and Sunburst, so these two here. And with a little fan brush, and mix those two colors and highlight the tops of your cheekbones. Now I'm going to set my face with setting spray, so I'm going to be using the Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray. Now with setting sprays, once you spray it on your face, make sure you don't scrunch your face or move it until it's fully dry. Now what I'm going to show you is how to make your highlighter really pop. So once I've sprayed it on my face and it's almost dry, I'm going to take some more of the shimmery highlight and put it on the tops of my cheekbones. Another thing you have to be careful for is if you have enlarged pores on your cheeks, which lots of people do, like right here, you're not going to want to bring your highlighter to the center of there because it will accentuate them. As well as if you have fine lines right here, you're not going to want to place highlighter. I'm going to spray my setting spray now. And now taking the highlighter, because it's almost going to be dry, and placing it there. Now this is only if you want a very intense highlight. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section and I will do my best to answer as many as possible, as well as make sure you subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. All my social media links will be in the description bar below. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned a thing or two, and I will see you very soon. Thanks. Bye!